Change. The word alone can be challenging. How do we get started? Where will the change lead? Don't sit there and worry about it. Be the change. Welcome to Be the Change Radio. Host Christina Bloom has been a professional psychic and spiritual advisor for 20 years, offering psychic and mediumship readings for individuals and groups. She also teaches several classes in psychic development and metaphysics. In addition, she is an author who has published 2 books so far and is the co-owner of Moonbow Publications and Productions, LLC. Are you ready for that change now? Here is your host of Be the Change Radio, Christina Bloom.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Be the Change. You're listening to us on WLTK-DB.com. Let's Talk Radio, and my name is Christina Bloom. I'm here with my co-host for the month of May, Matt Anderson. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Is there anything that you wanted to share with us, Matt? Any, like your office hours or anything?
Sure. I do provide physical therapy and energy healing services at Vistara Wellness. It's Vistara Wellness. Website's vistarwellness.org. I am at that facility on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. This is Medical May, which is why Matt has agreed to be my co-host, because he knows a lot more about medical stuff than I do. And I wanted someone on here who actually knew what they were talking about. Hello, everyone in the chat room. Hi, Robin. And I'm seeing 2 people. This is Facebook user. And hi, Courtney. Welcome to the show. This week we have Audrey Van Wey, who is, oh my gosh, let's see. She's an RN, a medical intuitive, an advanced I had the word vibrational sound healer, and a Reiki master, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Matt, do you know what else she does? She does a lot of stuff. Hi, Barb. Hi, Sherry.
You covered the big stuff.
Okay.
There's more.
The big stuff.
There's more.
I can see her backstage laughing. You guys can't see her, but we can. She does a lot of stuff. And she's going to be sharing some really cool stuff with us this evening that I'm very excited about. I just wanted to go over some events that I've got coming up quick. First of all, I'm sure everybody probably already knows by now who regularly listens to the show, but Logan's Celebration of Life is this Saturday at Broadhead Manor. Hi, Nikki. Can't wait to see Nikki. I'm going to see her on Friday. Super excited. Been a long time. So that starts at noon and goes, late into the night, as far as I can tell. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a beautiful day of celebrating Logan's life. I have a drum making retreat coming up at Wild Blue Wander UP, and that's at Lake Linden in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The last day to register for that workshop is this Thursday. We need $150 down. It's $444 total for the workshop, and you can show up anytime after noon on Friday, and it goes until Sunday afternoon. It's camping, rustic. We're providing all the food. We're providing all of the stuff to make the drums with. It's going to be a great time. But I need the $150 down payment to order supplies, which I need to do on Friday. So that has to be put down there by Thursday, just so you know. You can go to my meetup page. It's meetup.com/onespiritconnection/calendar, and you can find it on the calendar. All the details are there. I will be posting it on Facebook again this week a few times so that you can see it there too. Just want to let you know, if you're planning on doing that, that's the deadline, is Thursday. June 10th, I will be at the Marinette Menominee Bigfoot and Paracon in Marinette, Wisconsin. I'll be doing readings all day. That's at the Best Western Riverfront Inn in Marinette. So I believe that starts at 10 a.m. I forgot to write down the time, but I believe it starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Unless you have tickets for the Friday night celebrity dinner thing, then you can do that. Hi, Sherry. And Nikki and Courtney. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. July 1st, we're back at Broadhead Manor for their fundraiser to put on a new roof. So it's a great facility. Bill is a great guy. I mean, he is on there all the time helping us. Hi, Kevin. He actually is just, and he has a lot of stuff going on there, bands and haunted houses and all kinds of stuff. It's an old school. The roof needs repair. So we are having a fundraiser to help raise money to repair the roof so that the building can continue to be used. And that is on July 1st. We're going to have food and music and all kinds of fun stuff. So I hope that you will be able to join us for that. I will be doing readings, and all of the money that I make doing readings that day will be given to Broadhead Manor to help pay for the roof. And I know that there's another psychic who's going to be there doing readings as well. So we will be having a lot of fun doing that. And then September 22nd through the 24th is the Great Lakes Paracon at the haunted Glenbeulah School. I don't know what it is with all these old schools being haunted, but boy, they sure are. So I will be one of the speakers for that. I'm doing a gallery reading at the Great Lakes Paracon at the haunted Glenbeulah School in Glenbeulah, Wisconsin. There is a Facebook page for that as well, so you can look that up and get more details about that. Get your tickets, 3-day tickets. It's going to be an amazing event. I have a bunch of other stuff that's coming up. No contract signed yet, so I can't share that information. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming up. And I just wanted to catch up. Hello, Kevin, Jessica, and 2 more Facebook users. I'm sorry. If you go above, you're supposed to be able to click a link where you can put your name in, because Facebook has like serious privacy protocols. So that's why if you haven't clicked that link for StreamYard, you can't put your name in. Then you just show up as Facebook user and we don't know who we're talking to unless you tell us. So awesome. I'm so glad people are joining us. All right, Matt, tell us what you know about advanced vibrational sound healing.
Well, we have the perfect person here to discuss it with, because she's actually the one that I learned it from.
Awesome.
So Audrey teaches vibrational sound in the advanced vibrational sound practitioner coursework. And I took both of those courses with her, I think about 2 years ago now. And it's a fascinating field that continues to evolve and is really starting to cross its way more and more into mainstream healthcare. In many ways, in many different aspects, from behavioral health, mental health sides to even in healthcare. In the course, Audrey actually shared an amazing clip of a group that's actually doing research of using vibrational sound waves to treat cancer. It was fascinating, and they were showing several different cancer cells and how those cells would lyse or basically die in response to these different vibrational sounds at different frequencies. And it was pretty incredible. And it was a mix of, there was physicians, but then there was somebody that had a PhD in something in music was his background, but has become very healthcare focused. And there was one part where it was pretty incredible. The vision that he shared is that one day the treatment for childhood cancer could be kids going into a room and playing with toys, and there would be this transducer in the ceiling, and they would be receiving treatment for their cancer, and all they know is that they're playing and having fun. How incredible
cool would that be? Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. Wow. Well, that was a great overview, because I've obviously heard of sound healing. I've been around this community long enough to have heard that phrase, and been to some sound baths. And, I mean, I'm a drummer, so I know what drumming can do as far as vibration and healing. But let's bring out the expert. Let's bring Audrey out. Hey, Audrey.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. So
yeah, you're welcome. I'm so glad you said yes.
Me too. And Matt, you are such a geek.
Yes, I am.
I love that you remember that video, because I really like that video too. It's a really cool video you can find on YouTube. Actually shows the cells actually like disintegrating. It was so cool to watch. But I'm kind of a science geek and stuff too, so I kind of get into that. But it was a fun video for sure. So Thanks for remembering it.
Nikki was just posting in the comments that it reminds her of studies that have been done on the elderly who continue to listen to music. Here we go. Into their later years, many of them retain certain brain function for longer in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely. That helps the brain there. Sound healing is such a vast, vibrational sound healing is such a vast modality. It can help on so many different levels. So.
Right. Right. And Courtney says that her autistic son, music helps him so much.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous.
I mean, music helps me. I think it helps all of us. I love this.
Me too.
But it's not just music. I mean, when we're talking about vibration in healthcare, we're also talking about ultrasound.
Yes, ultrasound is part of it. The way that things are pinpointed with ultrasound and other diagnostic scans can really be beneficial, not only to scan and find out what's going on with the tissues or the organs, but it can also provide treatment. So, right. I mean, kidney stones for one, they're using light and ultrasound and all of those things. And,
Right. That's what I was referring to was kidney stones. Yeah. I know several people who've been able to avoid having surgery for it because ultrasound has been able to break them up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So that's one of the things that I believe in my practice too, is I believe in blended medicine. Mm-hmm. So I believe that we have what we have right now in society for a reason. So there are things that Western medicine is contributing, things that Eastern medicine contributes. I think we need to take the best of the West and the best of the East and combine them together.
I agree.
So that's my thought process.
Right.
And I wish we were doing more of that. So hopefully it comes to that. But
I think in some places there are. I mean, there are now hospitals that are offering Reiki.
Yes. Yes.
So, we're moving in that direction. So
yes.
Yeah.
I'm a certified Reiki, medical Reiki master. So with that designation, I can go into pre-op, OR, and post-op with a patient and give Reiki during all of that time. So I'm actually in the OR with patients while they're receiving their surgery or, whatever treatment that they need. And it's amazing, the outcomes with that. So it's unfortunate. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, I read an article not that long ago about a surgical team where they are all trained in Reiki. They're all Reiki trained. And the surgeons and the nurses and the entire staff of the OR actually gather prior to starting surgery once the patient is under anesthesia. And they do a brief Reiki treatment and found that it was incredible how much more stable they were. Pain management was better. Blood loss was less. I mean, it was pretty remarkable, all the findings. And this is straight up traditional Western medicine that is embracing some of these other practices that are just doing phenomenal things.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom had an extensive surgery about 20 years ago, and I was there giving her Reiki before she went in and when she came out. And they gave her like a 6-week healing window. And in 3 weeks, she could have gone back to work. Like she was just that much better in 3 weeks.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
It's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, we're made of energy. What can heal energy better than energy, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. And not only Reiki, but vibrational sound.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, all of it, East and West.
Well, yes. True.
Yeah.
True.
So talk to us more about the advanced vibrational sound healing that you do.
Okay. Well, a little bit about my background is I started investigating vibrational sound therapy back in 2012 and kind of dabbled in it a little bit myself. And finally decided, okay, if I'm going to do this, I better really learn what's happening and what's going on with vibrational sound therapy. So I started taking classes, reading books, and really kind of absorbed myself in the modality, learned a ton of information, and became certified and then became advanced certified. And my MO and my Akashic records says that when I learn something, I have to turn around and teach it. That's just who I am and what I'm about, right? So it's not about keeping everything for myself. It's about sharing with everybody. So, other practitioners can take this to their clients and help their clients. So it's kind of like a domino effect, okay? Which is what it should be. So with vibrational sound therapy, it helps on different levels. It's actually frequency or waveforms of sound. Hertz frequency is the measurement of that, and it's waveforms. It's how fast the waves are going per second. So if it's 8 hertz, it's 8 waves per second. If it's 256 hertz, it's 256 waves per second. So kind of tells you how fast the speed is. Okay. So with vibrational sound, we know that the lower the frequency, the slower the waves. So 8 hertz would be extremely low to the point where human ears can't hear it. Okay. So the higher the frequency, the closer to source. The lower the frequency, the closer to the physical body. So the way that it works in the physical body is that, and I'll get to the energy body here in a minute, because there's different layers or levels of this. So in the physical body, it actually entrains the cells, or it's like it talks to the cells and to say, okay, you need to vibrate this way now, because this is where your normal vibration is. Okay. So our body's like an orchestra, if you want to think of it on those terms, where each organ and set of tissues kind of does its own thing. It plays out the way that it's supposed to play out. Okay. Or plays its own part. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if somebody or some part of that body becomes out of tune, vibration helps bring it back into tune or back into balance. Okay.
And that's why music makes us feel better?
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome. Every musical note is a frequency. It's a Hertz frequency. Mm-hmm. It just happens to be a musical note. Okay.
Right.
So we use some musical notes more so for like sound baths, but for vibrational sound therapy, we're not as concerned with the actual note of things. We're more concerned with the frequency and what part of the body that's going to influence. So we bring that part of the body back into what we call homeostasis or optimum health. So that's the physical aspect. So because there's so many vibrations, people wonder, how can this work in the body, because we're taking on all of these vibrations all at once, right? So the body actually is very choosy. You want to think of everybody sitting around a holiday table, right? And you're passing food from one person to the next to the next. Well, think of it in terms of cells in the body or tissues or organs, okay? Sitting around the table passing frequency, okay? This frequency comes along and, oh my gosh, maybe that's cranberry, and I don't like cranberry. So I can take that cranberry and pass it on to the next cell or the next set of tissues or organs, because water in our body is the conduit.
Right.
So that water takes that transference of that energy and moves it on to somewhere else, even though it's not going to take any. So cranberry doesn't resonate with me, so I'm just going to push it on to the next person or next group of cells so they can use what they need. But Here comes mashed potatoes and gravy, right? Okay. I like mashed potatoes and gravy. So I'm going to take some mashed potatoes and I'm going to put some gravy on it before I pass it on. So it basically, our body is using what the body needs and just passes on the rest. So it's not like everything is taking on every vibration. The specific vibration is influencing that part of the body that needs that vibration.
Okay.
That's the physical aspect of it.
Okay.
Okay. So for the emotional part of it, or mental part of it, we're actually getting more advanced for that. And that's some things that I taught in the advanced class. So the advanced class learned about Fibonacci sequence. So I don't know if anybody knows about that, but it's kind of a spiral effect, has a lot to do with like golden ratio and all of that stuff, but I won't get into a whole depth or detail there. But the spiral effect is something that's very natural, found in nature. The way some plants grow, shells, you'll see this spiral effect and all of these things in nature. It's a natural form. So what happens is that when we use the Fibonacci sequence of vibrational tones or frequencies, we use 2 of them, and that is a binaural beat. That's 2 tones used together. Okay. So
Okay.
Fibonacci is really good for mental and emotional issues. When we come across something like that, that is a type of trauma basically is an experience we have that overwhelms our ability to cope. Right? It's hard to cope with these things. So they become trauma. And there's capital T traumas and there's lower T traumas, and we can get into all of that. But that's going to be my 3rd level class. So I will be having a 3rd level class through my academy this fall. So for vibrational sound. But then it's going to deal with a lot of the traumas and things and ancestral stuff that's very rampant right now. People are starting to awaken and become aware of all of that. But to deal with a lot of the emotional stuff, we're using these binaural beats of the Fibonacci sequence, and it actually pinpoints different areas on this spiral of energy, right? And it allows the person to have a bridge to their current moment, their awake state, their conscious current state, to maybe areas of trauma that they have pushed down or stuffed down. Okay, we have a tendency when there's trauma to disassociate, right? We're going to take that trauma. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm going to stuff it down right now because I can't deal with this right now. I'm going to deal with it later. Okay. And then they go on, I need to do this. I need to do this. And this is forgotten about, right? It's kind of stuffed down. Sometimes we lose memory of it, and it causes problems, right? It will resurface if it's not dealt with. So what this Fibonacci sequence does, these tuning forks will actually help make a bridge between their current state and where they have stuffed down that trauma or traumatic information.
Okay, so the binaural beats, as someone has asked, as Real Housewife of Antelope Valley, I love that name, is the same. Is the advanced vibrational sound therapy the same as binaural beats?
Just a portion of it. The Fibonacci sequence is a binaural beat. There's other binaural beats. There's intervals that we can use to help with grounding, breaking up negative energy, dealing with stress, PTSD, all of those things. There's other binaural beats for that. Not necessarily Fibonacci, but along the same lines.
Okay.
And then there's a binaural beat that's very harmonious and just kind of leaves people feeling peaceful. Okay. At the end of our show today, if it's okay, I'd like to take maybe, 5 or 10 minutes and just do a healing over the airwaves here, if that would be okay.
Absolutely. We'll just put out a warning.
That would be wonderful.
If you're driving, turn off the show. We don't want anyone driving while receiving that kind of energy.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
This is our legal warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of warnings, I'm going to give one little caveat to this. So there are contraindications to vibrational sound.
Okay.
If you go to a sound bath, it's more or less like listening to TV or radio. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. If you're getting one-on-one tuning, especially in person, it can be a big deal. So we need to make sure that someone doesn't have a history of seizures. Okay. You don't want somebody that has active blood clots that they're treating right now. Maybe they're on a blood thinner because they have blood clots. So if that's the case, I would strongly suggest not listening. Okay. There's other contraindications, but there's workarounds for those. So I'm not as concerned with those right now over the airwaves, but those other two would be a concern. So if anybody's listening that has either one of those issues, it's probably good when we get to that point that they kind of turn the volume down for a couple of minutes. So.
Okay, great. And we will bring this up again right before we do it too.
Good idea. Thank you.
And Nikki says, so I see a lot of videos on YouTube that play binaural beats. How do I know which frequency to listen to? There seems to be a lot.
There's 1,000,001 frequencies out there.
Yes.
There's for basic tuning, what I would suggest is find a frequency that is very grounding, number one. Number two, something to break up negativity. So that would be clashing. And I'll take everybody through this at the very end too. So if Nikki's able to listen at the end, she'll get a small dose of a few of these frequencies. So something clashing that kind of breaks up heavy energy that's kind of stuck. Helps with any blockages or clogged meridians or all that kind of stuff. So next, I would find something like maybe a 528 hertz, which is the frequency of love and DNA repair. So that's a very good basic overall foundation for anybody to listen to. Okay. Perfect. That's not a binaural beat. That's just a regular frequency. Okay.
Okay.
A good grounding frequency is 256 hertz. That's like middle C on the piano if somebody's musically inclined.
Okay.
Okay. And any notes that are side by side on the piano, it's called a second in music theory, where you're playing two notes that are side by side. And that creates a clashing sound that breaks up the energy. So the grounder, something to break up energy, and then something that's harmonious, like the 528 is very good.
Okay, awesome. I just want to welcome in Luana, Teresa, and Tristan. Welcome to the group. We have a lot of good questions going on here.
Good.
Robin wants to know, what kind of sound can I listen to with seizures?
It depends on your health history and the types of seizures you have. If, every seizure or person that has seizures usually has some sort of trigger. They can be light triggers, they can be sound triggers, they can be other things as well. So if you have sound as a trigger, just make sure that, if it's sound is your trigger, maybe this isn't your thing. I'm not saying no, but I'm saying proceed with caution. I would stay away from binaural beats. I would listen to single frequencies only. And again, it would be over radio, or, if it's in person, sit furthest away from the sound bath. If you're going to a sound bath, just watch yourself, I guess, self-care, just make sure that, most people that have a history of seizures know what their triggers are. Okay.
Right.
Most
and
people.
you know what it feels like as a seizure is starting to come on.
Right. But as it's starting, you really can't stop it.
I have a thing though with the seizures that I experience, where when I start feeling a certain way, I have a little window where I can step back away from whatever the trigger is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if other people experience that.
So you have like a precursor notification. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if other people have that. I assumed everybody did because I do, but of course, that's not always the case.
Everybody's different. Everybody's different. So
Teresa has a question too.
Yeah.
I have sound bowls. Are there ones that are better than others, or are they all about the same?
There's different types of sound bowls. You've got Tibetan bowls. Technically, it's supposed to be made up of 7 metals, although the newer ones are more brass. And then you have the crystal singing bowls, the quartz. Those are supposed to be 99.999% quartz. And you can get varying degrees of crystal bowls. Some have other stones that are infused in them. Some are colored. What I recommend during my class to my practitioner students is a brand called Top Fund. And that is something I actually found on Amazon.com. Okay. Little shout out to Amazon here. But I've ordered a lot of things through them and have not been disappointed. So Top Fund, TOPF as in Frank, UND is the brand of the bowls that I purchase. And I've got one here today. I'll play in a little bit. But they are very good quality, and you find that their price is less than a lot of the others. So good quality for a little cheaper price. So we've got the trifecta or the bifecta going on there, I guess.
All right, great. Jamie Lynn, hi. She jumped in here and said, I'm here listening too. So I wanted to say hi to her. Let's see. We have a whole conversation going on about this weekend. So that's not something that we need to we need to talk about here. How is sound healing for back pain?
Excellent. So back pain, again, is part of that physical issue that we have going on. And a lot of back pain, I don't know if people know this, but a lot of back pain is actually related to the root chakra. So root chakra has to do with home, family, finances, work, our stability. So if there's especially lower back, if it's lower back, like below the waist in the lumbar and sacral area, that's usually associated with the root chakra. So, check yourself in that way too. But as far as the physical healing, vibration is very good for that. I do both Reiki and vibration together in my practice. So they're getting double energy. So I work with inflammation. I have a specific tuning fork for inflammation, and I also have one for nerve pain. And then I also have a tuning fork that goes deep down into the body. It's a very low frequency. It's like 34 or 32 hertz. I don't have it here today, but it's a very long tuning fork. and very deep sound, and that the body just absorbs that right down into the bone structure, into the crystal structure of the bone itself, down into the tendons, the ligaments, and all of those deep tissue parts of us. So those frequencies are very good for back pain.
Excellent question. Thank you, Keith, and thank you for listening in. Let's see, he said it's lower back pain and IT, constant sitting. Because he has to sit for hours on end, which is, I'd be having a standing desk at that point.
Yeah. Does he have a lumbar support? Can we ask him that? Does he have a support for his lower back?
He'll chime in a minute to answer that question. In the meantime, do pets respond to sound healing? What would you recommend for a dog with acid reflux?
Okay. Pets, it's touch or go. Some pets enjoy it, some don't, because as we're activating tuning forks, it can hurt their ears. So if they don't like it, we watch their behavior, right? If they don't like it, they usually walk away. Personally, I think Reiki is more effective than sound healing for animals just because of that. They're very sensitive. So especially dogs and cats. I've worked with horses too. I worked on a horse and the horse didn't like the tuning fork I was using. The horse actually walked away from me. So here I am in the barn and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that tuning fork, put it in my back pocket. Right. And then I activated a different fork and I'm like calling the horse back and the horse came back. So as long as I didn't play that other one, it was fine with all the others. So
it's whatever resonates with them.
Yeah, exactly. They have a way of letting us know. So we need to watch their behavior, but you could certainly try. And just keep in mind, louder is not better. So the vibration is there no matter how soft or loud you play. So if it's for someone or some, an animal, different member of our family, right, that is very sensitive to sounds and frequencies and, things like that, volume, it's okay to keep the volume down because it's still the same vibration. It's just not as loud.
Okay.
For acid reflux, I don't think I answered that question.
No.
Acid reflux, there's a couple things kind of coming to me right now. And again, I don't know which animal this is for, but it just feels like maybe there's some stress in the household. Again, I'm a psychic intuitive, so this is kind of popping in. So it just feels like there's some stress in the household that maybe, the dog is like overly sensitive to that. And then possible a food connection. Okay, so I know it's reflux. And there's gas and stuff there. And I know when they have reflux, it's not the most pleasant thing to try and take care of our pets when they have that. But that I'm kind of getting like a combination of things that are kind of coming along to deal with that. Okay. So stress means just to help that dog relax or help the cat relax. And, just maybe do a couple of food trials and maybe if you can find something that would be a little more gentle on the stomach for them during this time. So
great. We're going to take a little break here. We got some bills to pay for the station, so we're going to take a break and we will be back with Jamie Lynn's question.
Paranormal Party. Based in Wisconsin is a small paranormal investigation team that believes in the stigma of those who believe in the afterlife. Paranormal Party strives to bring positive energy into all their investigations. They have investigated several locations including haunted homes, jails, asylums, schools, and more. Every team has a tale, so let Jamie Lynn, Joe, and Kasaya share not only their experiences, but also their stories. Paranormal Party. Contact them today. Just search Paranormal Party WI online.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to Be the Change on WLTK-DB. I'm your host, Christina, and this is my co-host, Matt, who's here for the month of May to co-host with me, and our special guest, Audrey Van Wey. We've been talking about sound healing and other forms of healing. We've had some psychic stuff come in. And speaking of Jamie Lynn, we just saw her on a commercial. Hi, Jamie Lynn. Awesome. So we wanted to start this segment with Jamie's question, which is, I have lesions on my spinal cord. I deal with pain 24/7. I wonder if it would help me. And I'm assuming she's referring to sound healing.
Okay. Everybody's different. I never make a guarantee because it depends on how your body reacts to the sound. What I try to work with my clients is to not only help them on the physical level, but also get to the underlying cause of what's causing the issue in the first place. Okay.
Right.
So if you wanted to make an appointment and come and see me, I would be more than happy to work with you, one-on-one. I think this is, this type of thing is something, again, it's individual and some people, they have their health questions and they should be confidential as well. So I'm not going to give a whole lot of information, as far as, underlying causes or that type of thing. But I can tell you on the physical level, what I would do is treat you again for the inflammation and for the nerve pain. And I would also do that deep tissue, that bone tissue with that big long tuning fork that the vibration goes way down to the innermost part of your vertebra and the spinal cord and all the ligaments, tendons, that type of thing. There's also another tuning fork that I would use that actually helps tissue growth. So that I use very cautiously because I want to make sure that it would help grow the proper tissue and not tissue that it's not supposed to. So again, it would be something I would work more individually with somebody on.
Okay. And Audrey, what is your website or way that people can get a hold of you?
Okay, well, I have a few ways. They can find me on Facebook under Audrey Van Wey RN.
Okay.
They can also have a connection to my academy that I started, the school that I started, where I teach all of these things under. I'm teaching about 10 different types of classes right now under the academy, which is audreyvanweyacademy.com for the website. For myself, they can find me under audreyvanwey.com. And, everything is under my name, so it can all be tied together. So if you just do a Google search under Audrey Van Wey, you're going to find me because things will come up.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, someone had a question about cost, and that's something you should probably answer in a private thing there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Real Housewife of Antelope Valley got back to you and said she has a nervous personality. She gets raw food, and the next comment is that they live in a peaceful house. So we have.
Oh, was this for the animal that had the?
Yeah, okay. This was for the animal. Sorry.
Okay. Nervous personality. Yeah, I would just do things that help to try and calm her energy. Maybe she has some trauma from the past as well. I know sometimes if there's dogs or cats that have had a rough start in life, maybe they're overly sensitive to different things and they get real nervous about stuff. And two, if they're smaller animals, a lot of time they're kind of nervous Nellies anyway.
Right.
I have a little Yorkie and she gets really nervous, but yet she's fierce. So I don't know. She's running around here somewhere.
Who looks in the mirror and sees a Doberman, right?
Yeah, exactly. So she rules the roost, or at least she tries to, but my little diva dog. But I know that they can get real nervous about a lot of different things. Like I said before, loud noises and stuff like that, and other triggers too. So.
Right. I'm just confirming for Keith. Yes, she is in the Eau Claire area. Okay. Teresa wants to know, does playing my bowls just for myself heal me as I play them?
Absolutely. Because how do you feel when you play those singing bowls, right? Do you start out, you're having a rough day, maybe you're kind of anxious or just, tense, stressed, right? And you start playing that singing bowl and what happens? You take a deep breath because you can't help yourself. So absolutely, it helps heal you.
Awesome. And Courtney suggested for the dog a weighted blanket, and she said she uses one and it calms her right down. Oh my gosh, not me. Panic attack under a weight.
Oh,
Oh, no, 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 no. So
everybody's different.
Everybody's different. It's personal preference. Absolutely. I know for me, a friend of mine has a weighted blanket and they're like, oh, here, try this. It's great. And I'm like, I can't get out from under this thing. No. So yeah, it is different for everyone.
If I could add one thing relative to the last comment, there was Audrey, was doing great with commenting about playing instruments for yourself. Does that heal?
Right.
As she had mentioned, there are specific frequencies that have been researched that have found that at this frequency it interacts with various tissues. And much of that has to do with just the sound wavelength and how it interacts with the density of the tissue in the cell at a cellular level. But with that, it's not just the idea of frequency to tissue that you're working with, or tissue, cell, or body system. That there's also the notion of as she was alluding to, is through the relaxation effect. And like we've talked about previously with the autonomic nervous system. And when you achieve that balance where you're in that calm state and you are coming out of that fight and flight and you're going into that rest and digest, that is where we do our best healing. That's the state we need to be in to heal. So it's not just using specific frequencies to interact with an intended tissue. There is this element of just, if anything you can do that helps have that calming, grounding, centering effect, is you're creating the environment of which your body is able to do the best work it can do for itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And I'm probably going to go out on a limb here and get us in trouble, but I kind of have like this flip in my gut when people say, I'm fighting against cancer. Well, what we resist persists. Vibrate above it. Yeah. Like, go higher. Be happy, laugh, raise your own frequency. And but it's just one of those things where I can't say laughing is a cure for cancer. That's, that would be really irresponsible. But I just feel like when we fight against things, we're focusing on them. And when we're focusing on them, we're giving them more power, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, it's things like that. So when I focus on pain that I might have, I'm really focused on the pain. It's going to stick around. Whether that's a crick in my neck or a stubbed toe or whatever, when you're focused on it, it gets more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you do a little vibrational sound with that, that's a great modality for pain.
Absolutely.
So helps decrease that inflammation, helps the nerve endings, helps the physical body. It does wonders for people, for a lot of people.
All right. So I want to address this. That's not what I said. I did not say laugh at your own ills. I said laugh. Find something to laugh at, and it's probably not going to be what's causing you discomfort. Unless you did something really stupid to cause the pain, and then, of course, feel free to laugh at yourself. But God knows we've all done that, right? We've all done something stupid to cause pain. But no, watch something funny. Nikki laughs at her mom. Okay. Sorry, I know her mom. That caught me off. But laughing at whatever, So watch a comedy, do something. Courtney laughs at her own jokes. All right. So Jamie Lynn says, being calm is key. I meditate before each medical procedure. I get nerve ablation yearly and can do it without sedation or opioids. My doctors are always shocked. Yeah.
Good for you.
My dentist is always shocked.
Yeah, mine too. When I had to have a tooth pulled, and it's like, I didn't want anything. And he's like, you what? Just get it out, take it out.
I still take something, but I just go into like a meditative state and I just break through it. No problem.
Yeah.
So it's
like that old joke. Once you take the tooth out, you forget about it because it's out of your head, right?
Right. But
that's my dad joke for the night.
I am so proud.
Right up your alley, Matt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So If I can interject a little bit here, one of the things I wanted to touch on too is that with the new class that I'm teaching, I'll be offering in the fall, it's going to be talking more about vibrational sound therapy being used with like past life, like karma and issues coming through, or even past present life, pertaining more to like the trauma, emotions, mental issues, all of those things. And it also will have to do with ancestral trauma that's coming through. So I'm going to talk more about in that class, more about how we have these ancestral rivers. And it's sort of like taking the leaf blower, want to think in terms of like a roof with gutters. We have a couple ancestral rivers that run parallel to our body. One is masculine, one is feminine. So we want to take that leaf blower and blow out the gutters, right? And get rid of all the stuff that we don't need to hold on to, because technically it doesn't belong to us anyway. It comes from our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and all the way back, right? So it's about clearing out things that we don't need to take with us. It's about resolving that, and getting rid of that. So vibration is actually playing a really big part of that. And I'm working with some people now, people that come to me for sessions. I'm working with some people now that we're dealing with that, and we're seeing how well they do. And so far, the progress has been pretty incredible. So I'm looking forward to having more luck with that. And it goes along with some of the Fibonacci stuff that I talked about earlier about the spiral with the binaural beats. And it has a lot to do with other specific frequencies that we're using to actually clear out some of that, ancestral clutter, so to speak. So I'm really looking forward to that. But vibration is very good for things like anxiety, depression, PTSD, ADHD, all of those things. Bipolar, people that have bipolar stuff going on. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. It's the end of the day. So, dealing with a lot of that, the grief, the anger, and all of those things, it's very good for, all of those types of emotions that are kind of heavy and weigh us down, right? Right. So vibrational sound is good for that. Fibonacci sequences especially.
Yeah, I really enjoy listening to those. I listen to them as I'm falling asleep.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And
wonderful.
It works on my brain when I'm not awake enough to be resistant to it.
Yeah.
which is really good. I like what
it has a tendency to, I was just going to say, it has a tendency to relax people right out and they fall asleep right away. So, or pretty close to right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like what Teresa said. She said, when you heal yourself, you heal everyone behind you.
That's very true. That's very true. What they say is that there's like this upward movement when you're healing the DNA. There's the upward movement, you're healing the past, and there's the forward or downward movement as you're healing future generations. And it heals through the DNA because the DNA is all connected. So I think I find that fascinating.
I do too. I do too. It's pretty amazing stuff. And I just want to say thank you. She says she has to admit she's fallen asleep to my meditation.
Oh.
So thank you, Courtney. Feel free to fall asleep to it as long as you're not driving.
So would it be okay if I give everybody a little dose of some vibrational sound?
Yes, but let's do our warnings ahead of time again.
Yes, please. Let's do it.
Turn us off or pull over.
Yes. Turn the volume down.
Turn the volume down.
Yeah, pull over, enjoy it. Hey.
Yes, pull off and enjoy it. So, and you wanted to give the seizure warning again?
Yes. Anybody that has a history of seizures, this is your warning because there is vibration that will be coming through the airwaves. Again, it's very similar to like TV and stereo or radio. However, there is the minute possibility that it could push someone over into push into the threshold or past the threshold of seizure. So this is our warning for that. Okay. So if you have a history of seizures, your self-care is most important. So feel free to turn the volume down. We'll play for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 minutes. I'll play a different sequence of things. And then please feel free to rejoin us. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. Are we ready?
She wants to know if it's okay for kids.
Absolutely okay for kids.
Okay.
And anybody else in the room? Big kids, little kids.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to start with 528 hertz. That's just the frequency of love and DNA repair. So everybody take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Allow yourself to start to relax. Okay, here we go. You're going to hear pulsing. That's normal. All right. And this is what a tuning fork looks like. So it is, I'll back that up a little bit. So it is, it does have a stem on it where my fingers are. The yoke is kind of what is in the middle here. It kind of connects everything together. And then we have the tines up here. One of the myths is that people will activate the tuning fork and then place the tines towards the body. That's not the optimal way to play them. Actually, the energy comes down the forks through the yoke and then out the stem. So place the stem closest to the body. That's where people will get the majority of the vibration. Okay. So that was 528 hertz. So right now I'm going to play a couple other things, sort of like the suggestion that I made earlier about grounding, breaking up negative energy, and then playing something kind of harmonic. So that's what I'll do here right now. So this is 256 hertz. It's middle C on the piano, and this is a grounding tuning fork. So just kind of monitor your body as you're listening to this and see if you feel any subtle changes anywhere. Okay, here we go. Okay. How did everybody do with that one?
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but that one went right through my heart chakra.
That's actually for the root chakra, but that's okay. We feel it where we need to feel it. Yes. Absolutely. So this is going to be a binaural beat that is actually a second. So this means the notes are right next to each other in the octave or the musical scale. And what it does is it creates this dissonance, and that dissonance is absorbed by the body, and then it will actually help release any energetic blocks or, clogs in our system, so to speak. Okay. All right, here we go. We'll listen to this one. It's not going to sound pretty.
Okay, Tina said she said, I like that one, actually. That was Tina. And Courtney said that her daughter said that the one before this was calming and she loves it. She said that she felt like God was calling her.
Oh, that was the grounding one.
Yeah, and Courtney said that her back felt that one. And vibration everywhere, Jessica said. Hi, Jessica.
Good.
And Todd said, oh, yeah, I needed that. But I think he means all of them, to be honest.
Well, I'll do two more. I'll do two more of the tuning forks. Okay. So the next one that I have is actually really good for stress and anxiety. Okay. So again, it's a binaural beat. So I'll be playing two tuning forks. Okay. Here we go. A little bit more pleasant.
Okay. Tina wanted to know what was the one you just did, but not this one. It was the one before because the comment came up before you did this one.
Okay, what I did was C and D on the musical scale. So the notes that are right next to each other if you play piano.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a
And that-
dissonance
Okay.
that breaks up heavy energy and blocks. This last one that I played was C and F on the musical scale, and that one's really good for anxiety.
Okay. Keith said that the second one relaxes the body, which was badly needed. Nikki said, I like that one best. And I think it's the one you just did. That she was referring to. Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to keep the timing of the comments with,
Yep.
so, I hope I'm hitting all the right ones.
So I'm going to do one last combo here, and this is very harmonious. Okay, so see how people like this one. This is what we call a perfect fifth. Okay, it's C and G on the piano. Okay. So 5 notes apart from each other. Okay. Very pleasant. Okay, what did everybody think?
Oh, felt at peace. Ooh, very nice. Nikki said, nice. I'm always battling anxiety, so it makes sense that she likes that combo. But that was the C and G combo. I think she was
Correct.
Yeah.
That is a perfect fifth. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So very calming, very calming.
Very peaceful, very calming. Yeah.
Yeah. Very relaxing. Yeah. I have one more thing I can play for everybody if people are interested. I actually have a crystal singing bowl here. So I have my white bowl, and it's for the heart chakra. So I could play that for just a moment if that's okay with everyone. And that would be the last thing that I'd play.
Okay, before you do that though,
sure.
Keith was referring to the last one that you did. He liked the wave almost more than the sound.
Oh, okay. That's me actually pulsing it back and forth in front of the microphone.
Awesome. Good to know.
Whatever works, right?
Yeah. And Matt, do you also use tuning forks in your practice?
I do.
Okay. All right, cool.
And because I took the training with Audrey.
Yes. Everyone wants to.
I'll pay you later for that one, Matt.
Great.
Everyone is saying yes. Please play the bowl.
Okay. All right. So again, this is for the heart chakra. So I'd like to invite everybody to just take a deep cleansing breath and maybe take another one while we're listening. I'll just play for about maybe 30 seconds or so. Okay. And not too loud. Okay.
I love that.
What did everybody think?
The amazing thing.
Amazing. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, the amazing thing with the quartz bowls, the crystal quartz bowls, is that if you have the opportunity to experience it in person, I highly, highly recommend it. Not only do you hear it, but you actually feel it. And that is what is so striking with them, is they are extraordinarily powerful. and the effect of them is just amazing. The Tibetan bowls do as well, but I find the Tibetan bowl just has more of you really connect more with the sound. But the crystal bowls, it's more than hearing, you feel.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I have a set of the Tibetan singing bowls, the chakra attuned singing bowls, and then I have the heart crystal bowl as well. And my grandson, 2 years old, loves them.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He gets down there and plays them. He knows to do the thing around. He hasn't quite gotten it yet, but he's 2, so he's getting there.
Oh, he'll get there. He'll be an expert by 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, he will. Hey, Christine, thanks for joining us. Luana says thank you. Courtney said, I had a headache and it feels less clogged in the base of my neck now. So that's awesome. Good. Keith asked if you were at the Eau Claire. Audrey was in Eau Claire at the event I rode with you to. So he went to an event with me at 29 Pines, and I don't know if you were there or not.
I had a conflict. I did not set up for that show that day, so I was not there.
I couldn't remember if you were there. There were a lot of people there, but I couldn't remember if you were one.
Yeah. No, I had an event that afternoon and things got a little changed up, and I went to the gem show and stuff that day too. So, wasn't able to make that one, but I am here in Eau Claire though.
Okay. Courtney said she put the phone in a box and it makes it so loud.
Reverberates out of the box.
Right. I guess. Yeah. And she felt it from the feet up. So,
wow. Good.
Yeah. Let's see. Vibration goes through your body. Teresa said that. Christine said hi. Let's see. Courtney says, I have a crystal bowl that's a dish, but I just use it. I assume she means for food.
As a dish?
Yeah. Wow, this has been really, really great. I wasn't sure how the sound was going to translate, but that was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I find if I use my little mic and my headphones, sound will travel better rather than just through my laptop. So through the laptop, you wouldn't have gotten a very good sound at all. So
right.
Paid for me to plug in tonight. So
awesome. One more question that we're going to take from Keith here, because we're running over a little bit, because we always do. So Keith said, why do some bowls work for someone and some don't?
Everyone has a different makeup. We all vibrate on an average, but it depends on what that person needs at the time. So you're going to feel like some bowls work for you for some things and other bowls won't. Try again in a month and maybe it'll be different. So, everybody vibrates differently based on what's going on with them at the time, both physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Right.
So
one thing to keep in mind as well is that a skilled practitioner that's trained and experienced in these techniques begins by doing an assessment. And that assessment is they're going to come up with specific findings that they identify what your individual needs are, and then pair that with specific treatments and different modalities, different instruments, frequencies, to really personalize it to where they're more likely to have a desirable outcome.
Exactly.
Awesome. And I just have to put in the correction. I had it backwards. Her crystal bowl is a food dish, but she uses it like a sound bowl.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I had that backwards, so I needed to correct that.
Well, I'm sure it still has a frequency, and if it feels good, use it. Hey,
exactly what I was thinking. If it feels good, do it. Yeah. Wow.
Well, if I could put in a little shameless plug here, if you wouldn't mind.
Go right ahead.
People can find me either on, they can Google my name, find me on Facebook. I've got a couple of websites out there, but they can also find or contact me via my email, which is audreyvanwey@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And my last name is spelled Vanwey at yahoo.com. So reach out if anybody has any questions. I just wanted to put that out there. And then I did start an academy back in September of 2020. And when I started teaching vibration, that's the reason I started the academy, because I needed a vehicle, so to speak, in order to certify people. So I started my academy. It's just under Audrey Van Wey Academy of Psychic Development and Energy Medicine, but that's a mouthful. So the website is just audreyvanweyacademy.com. And I'm teaching more and more classes there with more on deck. So I not only teach the 3 levels of Reiki, I teach the 2 levels of vibrational sound that I have right now. The 3rd one will be coming out this fall sometime. I'm also teaching medical intuitive. I also teach a certified crystal therapy practitioner course. And with more on deck. I hope to next year have a paranormal investigator course, just to help people, kind of focus where they and how they want to do their investigations. And then ultimately have like an energy practitioner course. So, and I'll have a couple of prerequisites for that one. But, the Academy is expanding and growing. And if there's anything that those courses or the Academy can do for people, if anybody wants to learn this stuff, just please feel free to get a hold of me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Now, is that only in person or is it online as well?
I have started teaching. I also teach certified intuitive and certified medium. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's kind of together in one program, but it's actually technically 2 courses. They can stop after intuitive if they want to. So that one I have online. In fact, I'm doing that online course now. And I also have Reiki 1 and 2 online. So we're starting to make that bridge a little bit. We're getting there. But right now, most of these are in person. I do travel outside of Eau Claire as well. May 20th, this coming weekend, I have a vibration course, the basic course. I have an advanced course on June 10th. And then in June 24th and 25th, I'll be up by Woodruff, up by Minocqua, teaching a vibration course up there. I will be down in Black River Falls teaching a course, I believe also, I think that one's in August. Medical intuitive class, July 23rd. Certified crystal class, July 8th. So I'm teaching different things in different places. So I've got 3 courses I'm going to be teaching in Amory, but again, that's not solidified yet. So I'm not going to announce those dates quite yet, but I do travel. So just to let people know.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for coming on and being our guest today.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt, thank you for your input as well. Matt is actually going to be co-host and guest next week. So we're going to be talking about chronic pain and I guess different ways to treat it. Or awesome. Cool. Thank you again all so much. And we will see you back here next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.